Hello! It is so wonderful that you are here. Thanks for tuning in to this video. My name is Julia Sana, and recently I have uploaded a video where I answered some questions about melons, and it was very well received. So I decided to make part 2 because I have realized there is still so many more things about melons to learn, and some things that I haven't shared in last video yet, which I want to share with you today. So let's get right into it. So I have 2 melons today for demonstration, and the first really nice hack of how to determine if a melon is good or not that I got reminded by my friend Marvin a couple of days ago, who sent me a picture of 2 melons, and one of them was like this and one of them was like this, and he said, you know, the round one was just so much sweeter, and it makes so much sense because, you know, melons are in the same family as cucumbers, so the longer they are, the less sweet and the more watery they are going to be. And you know, for melons we want them to be sweet and soft and ripe and juicy. So if you buy a melon like this, it is very likely that it's not going to be sweet, whereas round melons like this, the chance is so much bigger that it's going to be really nice. And yeah, so I wanted to share that tip with you. Yeah, but I want to give it a try. So as an experiment, we will open this melon at the end of this video, and I will give it a taste test to see if it still can be sweet, because all the other factors about this melon indicate that it is a pretty good melon. You know, it's very darkish, and it has a couple of brown spots here, which is also a very good sign that it's ripe. It's very soft. It smells a little bit. And that brings me to tip number 2, which I would like to share with you today, which I didn't share in last videos, where I shared about, you know, smelling a melon and how that really indicates a lot if the melon is ripe and if it's tasty or not. So it's very important that you smell this part of the melon and not this one. And I also want to give a shout out to my friend Anna here, who always calls this the butt and this the pee-pee. And you want to smell the butt, and it has to, yeah, smell really, really good and melony. So yeah, that's also a very important thing to be aware of. And then the last thing I want to share is that also after I filmed the video, one of my fruit-based friends wrote me a message with a very interesting fact, which I already heard before, but I had already forgotten it, so it was very much in the back of my head. But the thing is that melons actually don't ripen after they have been picked. So yeah, once they have been picked, they don't really ripen any further. But what we really mean when we say like we let the melons ripen is that we just let them sit a little bit and ferment, basically. So we hope that they become softer and sweeter and, you know, more juicy. And that's why it's so important to, when you are in the supermarket, really already check if there is some ripe melons, and then buy the ones that are ripe. I mean, if there's no melons at all that are ripe and you really want melons, then of course you can just pick any melon that, you know, you have a good feeling about and that has all these factors that I mentioned before. But you know, you are much more likely to find a really good melon if you already in the supermarket find the ones which are ripe. And then if the melons are ripe, and you want to slow down the fermentation process, then you can also put them in the fridge so they last longer. But yeah, otherwise that's just a very important fact that I thought I'd also would like to share with you in today's video. Alright, now it's time for the experiment with this melon and see if it's actually sweet, even though it is so long. So let's try this melon and see if it's sweet. Usually I cut my melons like this, but for today's experiment I'm gonna cut it like this to make a nice thumbnail for this video. Then take my spoon and the bowl. I think it actually looks pretty darn good. So basically just forget everything I just taught you in this video and just buy whatever you feel like buying. No, I'm just kidding. But this looks really good. But I guess it's because all the other factors were in place. So let's try. It looks really soft. Like this is how you want your melons to look. Oops. This is how you want your melons to look like. Wow. It's actually really good. So yeah, just forget what I shared in this video. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, again, I guess this is a good sign that, you know, all these tips we give you in these videos, you know, they can be helpful, especially in the beginning. But at the end of the day, you have to trust your gut, you have to trust your intuition. And, you know, the best tip for, it doesn't matter which fruit you're buying, is if you stand in the supermarket and you hold the fruit and you feel like a clear yes, not in your head, but in your body, like a feeling of this is going to be so tasty, like you just want to devour it, then it's very likely that it's going to be a good fruit. Whereas if you don't have that feeling, then you can buy it and it can be good, but more often than not it won't. The only exception I've found is bananas. They are almost always good, so I'm very grateful for bananas. So I guess the key takeaway from this video is, especially when you're in the beginning, it can be really helpful to have these kinds of tips and signposts to kind of navigate of which fruit might be good and which might not. But with experience, you don't really need that so much anymore, but you can much more trust your gut and your intuition. And then on top of that, you can combine it, of course, with the intellectual knowledge about how to pick good fruit. You know, just as if we were in nature and we would, you know, stand in front of a fruit tree. If you want to devour it and you have that feeling of, I have such a good feeling about this fruit, you know, then it's very likely that it's going to be good. Whereas if you don't have that, it might still be good, but there is also likelihood that it won't, and you'll have to, you know, throw it out or make a smoothie out of it because it's not as high quality. But yeah, then again, on top of, you know, that intuitive feeling, you can of course combine it with your intellectual knowledge, and then the likelihood of the fruit being amazing is even higher. Just had the melon and it was delicious. Also had the other one. It's an orange candy melon, super tasty as well. And I also wanted to give you a little update of my little balcony garden. We have lots of tomato plants and the tomato fruits have already sprouted, and it's so wonderful to see how every day this garden is just growing bigger and stronger, and yeah, how the seeds I have planted are carrying fruits now. So just wanted to share this with you as well. Probably gonna make more gardening updates on here as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Maybe you even know some more tips about melons. If you do, feel free to let us all know in the comments so that we can inspire and uplift each other. And yeah, and I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy whatever you're up to today, and maybe see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.